The White House is furious this morning because of images circulating the internet showing the demolition of the East Wing in the White House to build Donald Trump's 90,000 square foot gold-plated ballroom. Why are they furious? Because they didn't want the public knowing that demolition began. Because just a few weeks ago, Donald Trump told the American public on television that the construction of this ballroom would not impact the existing White House structure. And well, he lied. And now in a late night email to Treasury Department employees, the White House writes, quote, as construction proceeds on the White House grounds, employees should refrain from taking and sharing photographs of the grounds to include the East Wing without prior approval from the Office of Public Affairs. A Treasury Department spokesperson said that the email was sent to employees because photos could potentially reveal sensitive items, including security features or confidential structural details. But in reality, the reason why they don't want Treasury Department employees sharing images or videos of the construction is because it's not a good look for this White House. We're in day 21 of the government shutdown. SNAP benefits are set to run out soon for many Americans. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of federal workers have already been furloughed and have not been receiving paychecks. Some have even been working without receiving a paycheck. And well, Donald Trump and this White House are constructing this large gold-plated ballroom, and it all comes after Trump himself said, I'm not going to impact the White House structure. But if you look at the demolition that's occurring, and if you've ever been to the White House, it impacts the East Wing, where you enter the East Wing, or where you formerly entered the East Wing for events and celebrations. That includes where the First Lady's offices used to be. And well, now most of that building is demolished. It's destroyed. It's gone. There's no rebuilding that. And instead, we're going to have this massive ballroom, which is not funded by the taxpayer, according to the White House. It's actually funded by these private donations. But legal experts are warning that even that brings up many ethical questions because of pay-for-play type situations where people would want to donate more to the White House for this ballroom in exchange to curry favor from this president. And so we're at a situation where Trump lied. The White House is now trying to prevent and silence Treasury Department employees who are working right next door to the White House from sharing photos and videos. Many of these employees are not Trump officials. They're just career staffers. And so that it's a bit of a PR nightmare for the White House. The White House doesn't want you to see these, but I will continue to show them and I will not stop, even as the White House wants me to be silent. So please consider subscribing to support my work or send a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. We're going to keep fighting this fight, whether or not the White House actually wants us to. Now, meanwhile, Donald Trump's ability to double the number of ICE agents is hitting a snag right now, because according to the Atlantic, the individuals who are signing up to join ICE, well, they're lying to ICE about their physical conditions. Officials are reporting that, quote, athletically allergic candidates are misrepresenting their conditions, because right now, the new applicants, over a third of them are failing basic fitness tests. So you have to have basic fitness tests, like do push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, etc., run a mile, things like that. But they're not passing those basic fitness tests, and they're lying to the White House in the interim. And so Donald Trump, who wants to double the amount of ICE agents there are in the country, is hitting a snag because the people that are trying to apply are just not physically fit enough to be ICE agents. But that wouldn't surprise me per se, and it wouldn't surprise me if the White House changes the physical fitness standards moving forward for new applicants. So we'll have to see about that. At the same time, ICE is actually using billions of dollars right now to expand not just its surveillance state, but its militarization. So first, on the surveillance front, it's expanding the purchase of biometric ID systems, cell phone tracking abilities, and other electronic monitoring tools, including other hacking abilities, while also skyrocketing 700% of the budget under Trump, about $71 million in small arms purchases on armor, explosives, and even components for guided missiles, signaling a dramatic militarization of immigration enforcement in America. That should not surprise people, though, given the fact that we've literally seen Black Hawk helicopters being used in military-style raids in Chicago, and literally ICE officials going in military vehicles on the streets of cities across the country right now. But just expect that the militarization of ICE is only increasing now that the budget bill that was passed earlier this year has infused hundreds of millions of dollars into immigration enforcement. We're learning now that the CIA is reportedly providing real-time satellite and signal intelligence for United States airstrikes on suspected drug boats in the Caribbean, playing the, quote, most important part in Donald Trump's covert operations against Venezuela-linked traffickers, although there is no concrete evidence presented by the administration that these individuals are, in fact, traffickers and not just average everyday fishermen, for example. And that leads to significant legal questions over whether the United States of America, the military, is currently conducting extrajudicial killings in the Southern Caribbean that are in violation of longstanding federal and international law. Now, meanwhile, we are in day 21 of a government shutdown, 3 weeks in, and we're starting to see the impacts on everyday Americans. SNAP benefits will soon be halted for about 42 million Americans. So agencies in Pennsylvania, Texas, West Virginia, Minnesota, and Illinois have said payments could be halted starting October 16th. That would be the last payment that individuals receive. The United States Department of Agriculture has actually also told states now not to load benefits onto EBT cards until, quote, further notice, given the fact that there are now insufficient funds for the roughly 42 million Americans who rely on SNAP and food assistance. At the same time, the United States National Nuclear Security Administration is furloughing about 1,400 of its employees as the government shutdown enters day 21, leaving fewer than 400 workers on duty to maintain the nation's nuclear arsenal. This is the first time the agency has conducted a furlough in its history since it was founded in 2000. Now, officials say that operations remain secure, but warn that modernization efforts and weapons maintenance may now be displayed or delayed. Those in charge of monitoring our nation's nuclear capabilities have been decimated because of the government shutdown. The University of Arizona has become the 7th United States university to reject the Trump administration's Compact for Academic Excellence, the proposal tying federal funding to adherence to conservative policies on race, gender admissions, and campus culture. And finally, Navy veteran Richard Ostoff, who says George Santos defrauded him of $3,000 meant for his dying service dog, condemned Donald Trump's decision to commute Santos's prison sentence, calling it a, quote, knife to the gut and disrespectful to veterans. Folks, that's all the news right now. As always, if you want to support my work, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, especially at a time when the White House wants to silence me. Your support is more valuable than ever before, so please consider doing so today, and I'll see you soon with another update, so stay tuned for more. Hey folks, Aaron Parnas here. Thank you so much for watching The Parnas Perspective. Please consider subscribing to support our work as we grow this independent news media entity into something that rivals mainstream every single day. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.